You're scrolling through social media and see someone posting their daily $5 coffee, their weekend getaway, their latest shopping haul, and you think to yourself, how do they afford all this? Here's the plot twist that'll blow your mind. Half of those people posting the glamorous lifestyle are actually living paycheck to paycheck, drowning in credit card debt, while the person sitting next to you wearing a $10 thrift store outfit might have a six-figure savings account. Today, we're flipping the script on what it means to live well on less. Because being financially savvy doesn't mean you have to live like a hermit, eating ramen in a cardboard box. Let's start with a hard truth that nobody wants to admit. Society has programmed us to believe that spending money equals happiness, that buying things equals success, and that frugality equals deprivation. But what if the opposite was actually true? What if being broke with style was actually the ultimate flex? What if knowing how to stretch a dollar while still having an amazing time was the real superpower? Think about it this way. When you master the art of frugal fun, you're essentially becoming a financial magician. You're creating experiences out of thin air, finding joy in the simple things, and building wealth while everyone around you is bleeding money trying to keep up with an impossible standard. You're playing a completely different game, and you're winning. The psychology behind this is fascinating. There's something called the hedonic treadmill, which basically means that no matter how much stuff we buy or how much we spend, we always return to our baseline level of happiness. That expensive dinner? The high lasts maybe a few hours. That designer bag? The excitement fades in weeks. But the satisfaction of being financially free, of knowing you can handle any emergency, of watching your savings grow, that satisfaction compounds over time. Let's talk about reframing your entire relationship with money and fun. The first mindset shift is understanding that creativity breeds satisfaction more than cash ever will. When you have unlimited money to throw at entertainment, you actually become lazy about finding joy. You outsource your happiness to expensive experiences instead of creating memorable ones yourself. Consider the phenomenon of glamping, people paying hundreds of dollars to sleep in fancy tents when camping used to be the ultimate budget adventure. Somewhere along the way, we convinced ourselves that roughing it wasn't good enough unless it came with Egyptian cotton sheets and a concierge service. But the most memorable camping trips often happen when something goes wrong, when you have to problem solve together, when you're sitting around a crackling fire telling stories instead of scrolling through your phones. Here's where behavioral finance gets really interesting. Our brains are wired to value things more when we work for them. It's called the effort justification effect. When you put creativity and effort into planning a fun experience on a budget, your brain automatically assigns more value to that experience. You remember it more vividly, you appreciate it more deeply, and you feel more satisfied afterward. Let's break down some specific strategies that tap into these psychological principles. First, embrace the art of substitution. Instead of going to expensive concerts, hunt down free music festivals, outdoor concerts in the park, or intimate venue shows by up-and-coming artists. Instead of pricey restaurant dates, master the art of the picnic, but make it an event. Create themed picnics, pack fancy snacks from the grocery store, bring games or books to read to each other. The key is adding elements that make ordinary activities feel special without the premium price tag. Lighting candles during a home-cooked meal transforms dinner into an event. Creating a backyard movie night with string lights and homemade popcorn becomes more memorable than another night at the multiplex. These touches cost almost nothing, but create what psychologists call peak experiences, moments that stand out in your memory and contribute disproportionately to your overall life satisfaction. Now let's address the social pressure aspect, because this is where most people cave. You're worried about being judged, about seeming cheap, about missing out on experiences with friends who have bigger budgets. Here's the secret. Confidence is magnetic, and when you own your choices with style and creativity, people are drawn to your energy, not your spending power. Look at someone like Dolly Parton. She's worth millions but still talks about her humble upbringing, still values simple pleasures, still finds joy in homemade things. She could eat at the fanciest restaurants every night, but she'll tell you her favorite meal is still beans and cornbread. That authenticity, that connection to simple pleasures, that's actually part of what makes her so beloved. She hasn't forgotten how to find joy in the basics. When friends suggest expensive activities, Become the alternative suggestion person. Don't just say no, offer something better. Instead of the expensive cocktail bar, suggest a wine and paint night at home. Instead of the pricey escape room, organize a murder mystery dinner party. Instead of the expensive weekend getaway, plan a day trip to somewhere unexplored within driving distance. Here's another psychological hack. Frame your frugal choices as adventures, not limitations. You're not skipping the expensive restaurant because you can't afford it. You're exploring hole-in-the-wall places to find hidden gems. You're not buying secondhand clothes because you're cheap. You're treasure hunting for unique pieces with character. You're not staying home because you're boring. You're creating a cozy sanctuary that friends want to hang out in. The social media aspect of this is crucial too. The pressure to document and share expensive experiences has created this weird economy where people literally go into debt to maintain an image. But here's what's actually happening. The most engaging social media content often comes from creativity, humor, and authenticity, not expensive experiences. A funny video of you attempting to recreate a fancy restaurant dish at home will get more genuine engagement than another basic brunch photo. Let's talk about building your frugal fun toolkit. Start collecting free and cheap activities like they're rare collectibles. Every city has free museums days, free concerts, free festivals, free hiking trails, free beaches or lakes. Create a master list and challenge yourself to try something new every week. This isn't about being cheap. This is about being resourceful and adventurous. Develop signature budget-friendly hosting skills. Maybe you become known for your amazing soup and board game nights. Maybe you master the art of themed potluck dinners where everyone brings a dish from a different country. Maybe you create the ultimate backyard hangout space with string lights, cozy seating, and a playlist that makes everyone want to stay for hours. The compound effect of these choices is where the magic really happens. Every dollar you don't spend on overpriced entertainment is a dollar that can grow through investments, that can provide security, that can eventually buy you real freedom. But more immediately, every creative solution you come up with builds your confidence, expands your skill set, and deepens your appreciation for simple pleasures. There's also something powerful about becoming the person others turn to for fun ideas on a budget. You become valuable in a different way, not because you can fund expensive activities, but because you can create memorable experiences out of almost nothing. This is actually a more impressive and useful skill than simply having money to throw around. The neurological aspect is worth mentioning too. When you engage in creative problem solving to plan fun activities on a budget, you're literally rewiring your brain to find satisfaction in resourcefulness rather than consumption. You're training yourself to see opportunities where others see limitations, to find abundance in simplicity, to create rather than just consume. Here's something most people don't realize. Many of the activities that create the deepest satisfaction and strongest memories don't actually cost much money. Deep conversations over coffee, walks in beautiful places, collaborative cooking projects, game nights that go until 3 in the morning, impromptu dance parties in your living room. These moments are often more meaningful than expensive experiences that you passively consume. The key is intentionality. When you're spending a lot of money on entertainment, it's easy to be passive, to just show up and expect to be entertained. But when you're creating fun on a budget, you have to be intentional, creative, engaged. This active participation actually enhances the experience and creates stronger memories. Think about building what I call a frugal fun reputation. Become known as the person who always knows about free events, who throws the most memorable low-key parties, who can turn any situation into an adventure. This becomes part of your personal brand, and it's actually way more attractive than being known as someone who just spends money. Your money move for this week is the $20 challenge. Pick one activity you'd normally spend $50 or more on. Maybe it's a night out, a weekend activity, or an entertainment expense. Challenge yourself to recreate that same level of fun and satisfaction with only $20. Document the process, get creative with alternatives, focus on the elements that actually create joy rather than the expensive wrapper. The goal isn't just to save money, but to prove to yourself that your creativity and intentionality are more powerful than your wallet in creating memorable experiences. Remember, being broke with style isn't about having no money. It's about choosing to find richness in resourcefulness, abundance in simplicity, and freedom in financial wisdom. When you master this skill, you're not just saving money, you're building a completely different relationship with happiness itself. And that's a flex that money simply cannot buy. If this clicked for you, the next video breaks down another money habit your brain doesn't notice, but your wallet does.